Behavioral finance. This story should give you an example of what we're talking about when we say behavioral finance and financial decision making. It happened a long time ago, and as I walked out through the double doors, I was greeted squarely in the face with the humid, hot, putrid, polluted air that can only be described as Bangkok, Thailand. As I turned to go back into the air-conditioned restaurant, my international vice president of sales pushed me out into the street, awaiting our transportation back to the hotel. I knew he would have a watchful eye as I negotiated what to do in getting our transportation needs met. I had two choices. The first was a local transportation. It's called a tuk-tuk. If you're not familiar with a tuk-tuk, it's charitably described as a moped with a rickshaw attached. Now, tuk-tuks are for tourists, and even if I was a tourist, I'm not a tuk-tuk guy. My other option, they call limo. I call it a less than desirable taxi, but nevertheless, it is a car, what we would charitably call a sedan. It is painted in two-tone colors, such as orange roof and blue sides, or a yellow roof and green sides. It's quite attractive, I think. Nevertheless, I had a choice. I opted for the limo taxi, and I went to the first driver in line and began my negotiation. I said, "How much?" And he said, 40 baht. And I said, no. It was 30 baht over here. It's 30 baht back, 30 baht. And he said, no, 40 baht. And I said, no, we came over here. We're going back. It's the same distance, 30 baht. And he said, no, 40 baht. And so I said, fine. And I went to move to talk to the next taxi driver, at which point he gave in and said, okay, 30 baht. Well, I was feeling pretty good about myself. I jumped in the front seat. My VP of International Sales jumped in the back, and off we went. Well, apparently the 30 baht price doesn't include any safety, as he was racing through the city streets, and I kept telling him, slow down. He turned and looked at me and said, 40 baht. Well, that's blackmail. I wasn't going to put up with that. No, 30 baht, you slow down, you be safe. He's like, no, 40 baht. So we raced to the streets, and I'm yelling, slow down. He's like, give me more money. And all of a sudden, we hit dead stop traffic, as you would in Bangkok, as it's one of the worst traffic cities in the world. And lo and behold, we come up behind a tuk-tuk. And we're right behind the tuk-tuk, and he starts revving the engine like he's going to run over the tuk-tuk. And I said, no, slow down, be safe. And he said, 40 baht. And we kept going back, 30 baht, 40 baht, back and forth. And the driver finally upped the ante, and he bumped the tuk-tuk. When he bumped the tuk-tuk, the two people in the tuk-tuk, the tourists, turned around, their eyes bugged out of their head, and were panicked. And I was a little panicked too. I don't know what a Thai prison is like, but I'm pretty sure I don't want to go there. Nevertheless, I decided that I needed to do something different, and that's when my VP of sales, a guy named Mike, I'll never forget this, saved me. He taps me on the shoulder and teaches me about financial decision making. And I went, oh, there's a whole bunch to learn here. Here's what he said. Doug, you're arguing over 25 cents. And at that moment, it occurred to me that it was 40 baht to the dollar. And the ride back to the hotel was going to cost either 75 cents or $1. And I was arguing over 25 cents. In fact, I was really putting their lives in danger, our lives in danger, and a absolutely crazed taxi driver's life in danger by racing through city streets over 25 cents. But that 25 cents meant something to him. It clearly meant nothing to me. No one would put their life or anyone's life at risk, or even any safety risk, for 25 cents. I completely lost perspective because I wanted to win. I wanted to show that I wasn't going to get taken advantage of. I wanted to show that I was superior. I had all me in the situation. This is a true story, and I learned from that. It's not always about you, but there's more lessons in this, and we're going to talk about those as we move forward. One of the things that's important in not taking the tuk-tuk is reframing, and this is a behavioral finance concept. If we can change the way we think about things, we can learn from that and make better decisions. If we change our mindset, we can change our mind. This is one example of our mental mistake. We're going to reframe many other things. Let me give you one example that I've used often in my classes. What is money? What is money? Money is the way we exchange work from one person to another. When you do something for someone and they give you money, you did what we call work. And when you buy something from someone, when you give them money, they worked for you. So we all work together in this intertwined mesh of exchanging our efforts for a common currency. If we didn't have money, we would use the barter system. And the barter system is very unwieldy. It's not very efficient. You would essentially need to be able to buy bacon and eggs, you'd have to live near a pig farmer and near a chicken rancher. And then in my case, I would have to get them to buy my finance classes in exchange for bacon and eggs. In which case, I think I would run out of food really quickly. So we know about money. Money is the way we exchange work from one person to another. Now, how can we use this? The easy way is to reframe what we spend our money on. Instead of terms dollars, which we don't really understand what they are, we reframe that into hours of work. So in class, I often look down at everyone's shoes and I say, how much did your shoes cost? And they look down, they say, oh, $30, $50, sometimes $100. Depends on how much they spend on their shoes, is all in dollars. I go, okay, now convert that to hours. How many hours did your shoes cost? How many hours did your vacation cost? How many hours does your dinner last night cost? How many hours did you spend this weekend in going to the movies or going out on the town? So when you start reframing things, changing it from dollars, which we really don't quite grasp, to how many hours we had to spend earning those dollars, and take it as a straight exchange of labor between the two, you start reframing or rethinking about the way you think about money. That's what this course is about. It's about changing your perspectives and making better decisions because of new perspectives, new theories, new ways of thinking. And so we will go through a multitude of theories. We'll have interdisciplinary theories. Theories will not come directly from finance or psychology. They will go beyond that. And you will learn how to make better decisions. That is the crux of this class. So that's your introduction. Your main lesson here is don't take the tuk-tuk, and we'll start with reframing and move on to that and many other theories in the next lesson.